Hello and welcome once again to Radio Waitakere Law, brought to you by the Waitakere Community Law Service. This is a show to empower you with knowledge of your legal rights, and it's great to be with you once again. We're starting the new year in the studio on Planet FM 104.6. We're going to spend the next half an hour talking about consumer law and consumer rights. So we're having a bit of a chat earlier in the office about what we should cover this time around, and we realise it's just after the Christmas period. There are a lot of people that make these New Year's resolutions that they mean to take back that broken stereo, or they mean to go bring something back that doesn't work, get your cell phone fixed, etc. And so we're going to be talking about what happens regarding that, and what happens when the shop assistant tries to give you guff and tells you that you don't have to take it back. So we're going to be talking about services as well. So, for example, what happens when you're not happy with a renovation, or even shock horror when you've got problems with your lawyer. That's another one. And finally, we're going to be talking about false advertising and misleading information. So as our regular listeners will know, we try and bring home all these messages through little cheesy kind of corny scenarios. And without further ado, I'll bring in my regular co-host for the day. So introduce yourself, guys.
Yeah, hi everyone, I'm Hayley Epati-Mangile and I work at the Law Service with Shane. We offer free legal advice to people most in need in the Waitakere, North Shore and Rodney areas. So if you're not in those areas in Auckland, we do have other law centres that are closer to you. So feel free to give us a call on our office phone, 835-2130, that's 835-2130, and we can point you in the right direction. If you want more information, just give us a call at that number or through the website at waitakere.org.nz.
Okay, hello people. I'm Jonty Myers and I'm a student volunteer here at the Law Service. Today I'll be playing the role of the enraged customer, and Hayley will be the stubborn shopkeeper. But before we get cracking, I'd probably like to just remind everyone that this is only an information service. If you need legal advice about your situation, you should probably contact us directly on the number again, which is 835-2130. Quite often stores will have refund policies that you should look out for, and most of all, when you purchase a good or service, then ask for a receipt and keep hold of it.
That's so true, Jonty. I've got another tip for everyone while we're getting started, is that these retail stores, the receipts can be printed on quite low quality paper and with really terrible ink as well. So it kind of rubs off if you leave it in your pocket and things like that. I've seen it happen all the time. So if you're really worried about that, and particularly if you're buying something big like a stereo, a big screen TV, something like that, then just get it photocopied. And most stores will actually have a photocopier that you can ask to do that for. But you get that receipt photocopied just so you've got it on your records.
Yeah, definitely. Like most of us out of uni, we've had retail jobs and we know how hard this can all be for the customer and for the retailer. So people out there, whether you work in retail or you just like shopping, remember that if you're getting into an argument about returns, it's best to be nice. The worker is most probably tired and had a tough day, and the customer probably has kids or a mortgage or a million other things to worry about. It's really awful when fights about consumer rights and returning an item in a store gets nasty and vicious, and we've seen some pretty big fights, haven't we?
Well, I know I have.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to tell everyone, we've all been in retail as well as working in law areas, so we really know from experience about this is to just be really nice and be really helpful when you're getting into fights about these things, because it goes a long way. The assistant's much more likely to help you, really. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. We're going to start by explaining consumer rights in relation to goods. And we're going to reenact a typical scene from a retail store, something that all of us have probably encountered in our lives, and quite a lot of our listeners as well have been involved in. So this is involving one of the governing pieces of consumer legislation, which is the Consumer Guarantees Act 1993. So our man Jonty here is going to be the disgruntled customer. Hayley, yeah, that's right, pretty disgruntled. And Hayley will be our supervisor that just will not give in. So I'll try my best to be the all-knowing, knowledgeable lawyer here. And don't you dare go anywhere, everyone. You're with Radio Waitakere Law, proudly brought to you by the Waitakere Community Law Service and Planet FM Community Radio. Okay, guys, let's go.
Hi, I bought a stereo a month ago from you guys and I would like to return it, please.
Sure, what's wrong with it?
Well, it says radio here on the box, but it doesn't seem to be picking up any sort of stations or signals. I think the antenna's broken or something.
That's funny, because it seems to be working fine here in the store. Do you have your receipt?
No, I don't.
Well, you're going to have to show me some sort of proof of purchase.
Well, don't you guys keep any records of your own?
I believe that's your responsibility to bring in your own receipt, I'm sorry.
No, look, this is ridiculous. first you're questioning me and telling me that the radio is that it's actually working. What do you guys have, like some kind of freaky reception in here or something? Now you're saying I need to bring in my own receipt when you know you've got your own records? I come in here all the time. I can see the same model stereo being sold right there. You could just give me a good one. That lady over there's got one. Can't you just give me a refund?
Look, I'm sorry, sir. We just don't give out refunds for this sort of fault. This is something that we could maybe send away for repair.
You have got to be joking. Unbelievable. I want to talk to your manager, please.
I'll step in and handle this one, guys. First of all, we need to decide whether it's a good or service to fit under the Consumer Guarantees Act, whether you get these consumer rights. And in this case, obviously, it clearly is. A stereo is something that is a good. But I'll just point out that the definition's probably a bit wider than it seems. Now, I don't want to embarrass someone I know on air, but I was told the other day about a defective bunny rabbit. So she bought a bunny rabbit from a store and it actually had some sort of disease and it actually cost a lot of money to fix it. Going through the vet's bills were through the roof. So that's the sort of thing that could be covered by the Consumer Guarantees Act. So if there's a substantial failure with your animal out there that you bought from the pet store, you could possibly exercise your consumer rights. But basically, so long as the good is for domestic, household or personal use, then it should be covered by the Act.
So now we know where my stereo comes under. It's the Consumer Guarantees Act.
That's the one.
Now, does this mean that she has to give me my money back now?
Not necessarily, Johnsy. You're right that it's covered by the Act, but in this case you may not be entitled to your money back straight away. So first of all, you're going to need proof that you bought that good from that retailer, particularly the money paid and the date on which you paid for it. If you could possibly consider looking at getting a bank statement if you bought it on FPOS, for example, and you lost the receipt. So something like that, just to say that you actually bought it there.
Yeah, that's right. In this particular situation, I don't know whether you actually bought it a month ago or years ago.
That's true indeed. And even leaving that issue aside, the first question is whether that retailer should have to do anything at all, or just send you on your way, basically. Now, the Act states that the goods must be of acceptable quality. And in this scenario, are the goods of an acceptable quality for Jonty here? Probably not. What you look at is whether the goods are fit for their purpose. So the purpose of buying a stereo is to listen to music. And if it wasn't fit for doing that, then it's not of an acceptable quality. So that's a fault